What's happening? What's everybody happy Monday morning to you? It's Monday, October 5th, 2020. This morning, we're going to talk about refusing to be denied. It's probably a trait that is underutilized in today's world. There's a lot of tips and tricks out there of how to do everything under the sun, but I think not often enough do we talk about the fact that, man, if you just refuse to be denied, it solves most of the problems that you would have out there. So let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Good morning to you. Happy Monday. It is hard to believe. I was just looking up some stats this morning, and I apologize for being a little bit late this morning. Hopefully, we'll have this problem solved by tomorrow. I got to get the internet situation handled in my office here, but hopefully, we'll have that handled by tomorrow. But was looking up this morning before we jumped on here, just some of the timeline that's left in 2020. Only 52 days until Thanksgiving. Let that sink in for a minute. 52 days until Thanksgiving, 81 days until Christmas, and only 87 total days left in 2020. And so as I sat yesterday thinking about, man, that timeline, just how much time is not left in 2020, I started thinking about some of the conversations that I've had over the past week. Sorry, guys, for the internet. I'm not sure what's going on here. It is like pixelated like crazy. I can see it on my phone here. But at any rate, I was thinking about, just how many people have had, maybe a year that they thought would be better, something that they could do between now and the end of the year that could improve 2020 as a whole. And, one of the traits that I think is just not frequently utilized enough in today's world is just straight up grinding to the point that you just refuse to be denied, right? You just absolutely refuse to be denied of what it is that you want. And I think that is, that's a skill that everybody has in them, right? And too often, we try to utilize all these fancy tips and things that are out there as to how to do things. And we overlook that one thing that exists in all of us to just refuse to be denied. Just never quit, right? Never slow down. When you're tired, you just keep pushing. When you don't feel like it, you just keep pushing. When you start to doubt yourself, push harder. And, the one thing that I know for sure in my life is that when I started to figure that out, when I started to figure out that there really is no shortcut, that the shortcut is really just grinding through whatever adversity that you encounter on the path to where you're trying to go. And that is a trait that all of you have. For me personally, my faith is a big part of, what allows me to push through these things, but I won't be defeated because I will never give up. It doesn't matter what comes in front of me. It doesn't matter what somebody says or what along the way I encounter or what is taken from me or what challenges I face. It doesn't matter. I will win in this life. I will succeed. I will continue to succeed and grow because I will just never give up. And I think faith is a big piece of that. It gives you the ability to see past what I call earthly challenges. It's like, the pastor at my church says frequently, I've heard him say this multiple times, Pastor John says, worry about being on the right side of eternity more than you worry about being on the right side of history. And so that quote sits with me a lot because it allows me to kind of process things and realize, ultimately just how small some of the things are that we deal with here that we make a huge deal out of, right? And, we have the gift of life every single day that we wake up. I've asked this question before, but if you were offered, $1 million, or you get to wake up tomorrow, which would you take? Everybody I've ever asked the question to says that they would take the gift of waking up tomorrow. And so when you think about that, we get the gift that we choose every single morning. Every morning that you open your eyes and you get this gift of life, you get this gift to do this all over again. And we take it for granted. What most people would say, man, if I just had this, whether it's $1 million, $10 million, whatever dollars, but you get the gift that you would choose every single morning. You get the gift of life. And I think far too often we don't take advantage of those days. We think that somehow winning or losing some small situation is going to determine our future. And the reality is, it is your ability to refuse to be denied, to never quit, to keep pushing forward regardless of the circumstances. And by the way, everybody that goes through things in life, and the bigger things you're trying to do, the bigger challenges you're going to face. Everybody will have those moments of slowing down due to circumstances. The difference between people that win big and people that spend their whole life trying to get ahead and never really do is the amount of time that they spend in that space of being paused because of fear or because of challenge or because of adversity or feeling bad for themselves or whatever it is. But it is those people that refuse to be denied, that just push forward regardless of the circumstances and understand that whatever challenge they face, it will become a lesson. It will become an education. It will become something that fuels them as they go forward. This life that we live doesn't end because of one circumstance or another. The only way that it ends or slows down is by you allowing yourself temporarily or permanently to be denied. And so when you take that position that you refuse to be denied, and by the way, everybody has been given that ability. It's the gift of waking up every day. The gift that you have to decide to push forward regardless of what's in front of you. And so 2020 is a good example of that. 2020 has been a year that has dealt all kinds of people, all kinds of different things. We got 87 days left in 2020. 87 days to do two things. In my opinion, from a business standpoint, I look at it from different ways. You have a choice to finish 2020 strong, to continue working, work to the buzzer, to the last, to the bell, down to the bell, right? You have the ability to make 2020 the best that you possibly can. And you also have the ability to make the start of 2021 better from your efforts to finish 2020. So many people don't work to the bell. I talk about it on Fridays all the time. Going out like a lion, don't go out like a mouse. Don't take a half day on Friday. Don't cruise through or flow through the fourth quarter. This is October 5th, so we just entered the fourth quarter of 2020. And so many people will just coast into the end of the year. We can all catch ourselves being in that moment where we're drifting. We're not focused. We're not performing at the highest level that we are capable of. And it's discussions like this that hopefully will straighten that out for you. Hopefully will get you back on track to realize there's a lot of time left in 2020. And if you don't put in the work, you will pay for that down the road. What you're experiencing right now, the success or failure that you're experiencing right now, has nothing to do with what you are doing right at this moment. It has to do with what you did 60 days ago, 90 days ago, 120 days ago. That work that you put in is what you're experiencing the results of right now. So if for the rest of this year, you take the position of refusing to be denied, whatever it is, just keep pushing. You get knocked down, you keep pushing. You're behind your numbers, you keep pushing. Your team isn't motivated, you find a way to motivate them and get them refocused so that everybody can double down and finish this year the way that they should, the way that they're capable of, at their highest and fullest potential. This gift of life that you are given is guaranteed. You can walk through a little today and see a lot of people that love the opportunity to persevere through what you're going through. Think about that perspective, right? If this was your last week to lay it all out on the field, what would you do? What would you do every day? What would you do every day? Because these days are not to be wasted. We all go through stuff. We all have personal things, business things, all kinds of things that are there to distract us. It is your responsibility, yourself, to your family, to the God that gave you life, to leave it all on the field. There are 87 days left in 2020. Ask yourself this question. If I don't change it, how many of those days am I going to be the best version of myself? How many days am I going to put forth the amount of effort, the potential that I've been gifted? If you don't change anything. If you change something, you can go 87 for 87. You can be the best husband, the best father, the best business person, the salesperson, whatever it is that you do, you can be the best at it, but you have to try. You can't drift through this life and at the same time say, I'm giving it my best. You have to literally refuse to be denied. So as you head into this week, full week of the fourth quarter of 2020, you're going to make it happen, or you're going to excuses? Man, throughout 2020, I've talked to more people that are full of more excuses than I could ever tell you. Everybody has a reason as to why 2020 was unfair to them. Everybody. And then listen, all valid, but they won't matter. They won't matter in 2021. They won't matter in 2022. The only thing that will matter is that you're behind where you should be. That's all that matters. And you're behind where you should be in the years because of what you're doing in that moment, because you didn't take advantage of the days that are in. So make that call. Connect with that customer. Write the thank you card. Do the things that you're supposed to do at work. Take the extra time with your kids. Go out on the date with your wife. Make the time. Make the time. Make the time by organizing yourself, by being intentional. Listen, I'm preaching this to you because I'm preaching it to myself this week as well. I'm always trying to find those gaps that I can get better, that I can squeeze more time out of every day. How do I do it? How do I stay focused? How do I not get distracted by the things that are going on around me? I will, however, take my own advice this week. I've already started. Just refuse to be denied. It's that simple, guys. That's it for today's message, guys. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I hope this message helped you. I have a feeling this time of year that this message is one that everybody in some way, shape, or form needs to hear, right? And so I hope that it helped you guys this morning. I hope that you realize with 87 days how much progress you can actually make this year. 100%, Tony, the inches we need are all around us. If you guys haven't seen that movie, that's a good one. It's a gift that you get to do this week, this day. Let that be your perspective this week, and let it drive you to leave it all out on the field. Make the call, connect with the customer, send the email, write the card. Do it. You got the gift of having the ability to do it today and this week. Don't waste it. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m., same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective.